Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I'm going to pose an interesting question to you at the end of this video, because I think the question was asked by someone important in the industry, and I don't think it's by coincidence. This is from Sergeant Obi-Wan. New report warns 87% of cryptocurrency exchange volume is potentially suspicious. CoinMarketCap, he says CoinMarketCap is the worst. They're a major part of the problem. Anyway, this article really, I read through it, and I didn't see in the article where it really addressed what they were thinking about why, but they were basically just saying a lot of the exchanges report volume that doesn't look right. And I don't know what to think about that, but maybe there will be more come out on that. Next, and this is from Hoder. He did 2 blog posts today. This one's called The Arbitrage Bot and the Other Fairy Tales. Now, with regard to the first in the first part of this, he talks about these Twitter giveaway scams. I've talked about this before. You'll notice that that some people like Vitalik Buterin, they put on their Twitter portfolio, their Twitter profile, they'll say things like this. You'll see this: not giving away Ethereum, because the way these scams goes, they'll find somebody that's high profile like Vitalik Buterin, and they will go into the comments of his, or they'll reply to one of his tweets, and they'll come up with they'll act like there's a giveaway going on. They might try to copy parts of his username, or it's in the comment sections of like YouTube channels. My YouTube channel, all the time there's scammers in there, and what they do is they come in and they say that we're doing they pretend to be me a lot of times, and they'll steal my logo, and then they'll create a username that looks similar to mine. There might be one letter off, and they'll say they're me and act like we're doing an XRP giveaway. But first, you've got to send them some XRP. Usually they do Ethereum. First, you have to send them some Ethereum, and then they'll send you even more back. And it's really, it's almost impossible to keep track of it all. But you need to be aware of this. So anyway, this Arbitrage Bot and Other Fairy Tales talks about a lot of these type scams. He first points out here that Ripple has this. This is pinned on Ripple's Twitter feed. I think it still is. We've noticed an increase in fraudulent accounts. There's just a lot of really shady characters. Then he talks about BitConnect, and BitConnect was basically a Ponzi scheme where you would lend them money, you'd deposit Bitcoin, and then they would pay you interest, or you could lend them Bitcoin and they would pay you interest. And it was just, it's one of those things where, like look at this chart. BitConnect coin lending profits interest. If you loaned $100 to $1,000, up to 40% per month. I mean, that's ridiculous. Most of these type things, I don't pay a lot of attention to, because on their surface, I assume that most people would see this as an obvious, ridiculous return. I mean, anytime you get over anytime you start seeing anything over 7 or 8% return, your radar should go up on anything when it comes to stuff like that, because ultimately this BitConnect thing was just a Ponzi scheme, I think. Then this Arbitrage Bot came up, and this was in the XRP community. I had people asking me to talk about this, and I'm glad I never talked about it, because I never went and looked into it, because it just sounded kind of shady on the surface to me when I first heard of it. And so luckily I never spoke about this, because anyway, it's turned out to be some kind of scam too. And here's what he says. The sales pitch is very reminiscent of BitConnect. And it goes something like this. Send us your XRP. We will pay out a phenomenal return on your investment. And that's pretty much the red flag, people. It says warning signs. So again, it is completely unsustainable. This was a tweet. Completely unsustainable to maintain this while having a 1.5% daily payout unless they use funds they receive from new investors to pay off the people that have been investing. They will need new investors to maintain the scam, not arbitrage opportunities. And then he's making the point that, yeah, smart people, there's a lot of smart people in the XRP community who fell for this. And so, yeah, smart people can become victims of this. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. There are constant scams going on, and what you need to always be thinking is if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That's the general rule. And when these people are, when anybody's asking you to, first of all, when anybody's talking about doing a giveaway, that's a red flag. But when anybody's asking you to send them your digital currency, that's a major red flag. You don't send your digital assets to anybody unless you're sending it to another one of your own accounts, you know, or you're donating or something like that. And even when you're donating, you need to find out for sure and do some research and make sure that they're legitimate, okay, as far as people running charities. I've had people approach me to talk about their charity, and it always makes me nervous because I have to make sure that I'm not sending people to a charity that is not for real. So anyway, moving along. This is just some adoption I wanted to show you, popping up everywhere from crypto BTC_Chris. Bitcoin ATM inside. You're seeing more and more of this, and you're going to see it everywhere you look before it's over. Okay, then a tweet from Marcus Treacher. He works with Ripple, works for Ripple. Accenture is spot on with its Ripple prediction. Ripple's global network and volume are building fast. And he's tweeting out this tweet from Accenture building trends. Ripple's network for cross-border transactions will continue to grow significantly, attracting more banks and corporates, leading to rising transaction volumes and probably rising something else. Okay, this was a good tweet from Mass XRP Bitcoin TRX at SMC MASS1. He says, Grayscale, when will GXRP public shares be available? Common stock, we've been waiting. Please update the community. What he's referring to, Grayscale has the XRP trust, but you can't buy it. Right here it says this is a private open-ended trust. So like I looked at my broker and tried to see if I could buy this, and I could not. So this is a good question. Is when are you going to open this up so that average people can invest in it? So I wanted to get that out there. All right, from Bob at Bob in Deep XRP. He put this out there. Now I laughed at this because how many times are we going to see this kind of thing? IBM, the Ripple killer. IBM in talks with 2 major U.S. banks to create cryptocurrencies. Now I want to make 2 points when it comes to IBM. First of all, this they're referring to IBM's the news that IBM is, what's their little thing called? It's called, they're using Stellar's blockchain, and it's a product that they've come out with that's going to compete with that supposedly is going to compete with Xcurrent and Xrapid. Okay, so there's 3 points that I would make having to do with this. First, this article says the Ripple killer. There's 3 points I would make with this. First point I've made before, which is if you're in business, when I used to be in sales, and one thing that when you're in sales, you have to learn to overcome objections. So when you get an objection, you're supposed to, before you ever go on a sales call, you're supposed to know what the objections are so that you know how to handle them. Well, one of the common objections would be having to do with you having competitors. Well, and one of the common things that you would talk about is the fact that there are competitors. And what they used to always teach us in sales was, if you didn't have competitors, then there's not a demand for your product. The idea of having competitors is not a killer thing for you. It's not going to kill your product if you have a good product. Competition is a good thing because competition means there's demand. If there was no demand, then if there's no demand for the product, then it doesn't matter really if you have competition or not, because nobody's going to make any money. So if it's a good product and it's needed, as Brad Garlinghouse says all the time, if you're solving a problem, there's going to be other companies and products that come out to try to solve that problem too. Next, the idea that this uses Stellar. I wanted to make a point on that. Stellar is now I've had this channel, I believe, since last May. Okay, in all of that time, and I'm in this every day. I do videos every single day, 2 or 3 videos, so I read the news about digital assets every day. Okay, and I want to make a point here because it's a very valid point. In all that time that I've been doing this, and I've been following digital assets since 2013. In all of that time, I've known about Stellar and I've known about XRP. The only company that I have heard that I can remember, now I'm sure that there's a couple others, in all of that time, the only company that I have ever heard, the only significant company I've ever heard of doing anything with XLM and Stellar is IBM. In that same time period, the amount of companies and banks and businesses and central banks and governments that I have heard working with Ripple is over somewhere between 100 and 300, maybe 500, okay, that are either talking to them or working with them or have a deal with them. There is not even, this isn't even a discussion in terms of the progress of one versus the other. It is not even in the same realm, okay? And so when you see articles like this, oh, this is the Ripple killer. There was a great tweet here by XRP Research Center, at XRP Center. He says, isn't it funny how every single remittance-related product launched to the market is automatically labeled as the ultimate Ripple and XRP killer? Swift GPI, Ripple killer. JPM Coin, XRP killer. IBM's WorldWire, Ripple and XRP killers. Stable coins, XRP killers. Well, why do you never hear of people coming out and saying all these Ripple's made all these partnerships and therefore it's an XLM killer? It's because there's nothing to kill versus Ripple. Everybody knows, it's a fact, Ripple has made more progress in the digital asset market than just about any digital asset company, period. It's not even in the realm. But even if Stellar was working at even bordering on the pace Ripple is, you're going to have competitors. It's not the end of the world. It's part of it. It's part of doing business. Okay, moving along. Coin market cap crypto assets now feature flip side letter grades. Now, I just wanted to show you this because I've made the point to you many times that you will have ratings is going to be a big part of adoption. Now, Flipside Crypto, they're calling this Flipside Crypto is the most reliable market. They're calling it market intelligence firm, providing fundamental data on all major cryptocurrencies. Okay, so they're calling it market intelligence. But all this is like what S&P 500, Moody's, and Fitch do for the stock markets. And as I've said, and I still predict that somewhere in 2019 you will hear that some of those major ratings agencies are coming into cryptocurrencies somewhere in this year. At least one of them, probably all of them. But in the meantime, you're seeing startups jump into the game. And don't think for a minute that S&P, Fitch, and Moody's are not seeing this type of thing and saying, we got to get in here and get a hold on this market too, because it's going to be huge. They know. But before I leave this, I want to show you, look at who their investors are. It's always interesting to see who the investors are. Coinbase is invested in this. Founder Collective, which I haven't looked into, and what do you know, Digital Currency Group. Everywhere you look, DM Logic has said that under every rock in the financial world, banks, central banks, you name it, you'll see Ripple somewhere. Well, every rock you look under in the blockchain world, period, you will see the Digital Currency Group, which is run by Barry Silbert, the CEO. So always keep your eye out for the Digital Currency Group and anything they're doing, because the money will follow. These guys know what's happening. Okay, moving along. This was a tweet, and it came out 2 days ago by CZ Binance. And I thought, when I first saw this tweet, it was kind of a head scratcher in my first thought. I was like, that's a weird thing for him to tweet out. But the very second thought that I had was, you know what? It looks to me that looks like he is saying that looks like his way of saying that he may think we're coming out of this bear market right now. And if you look around, and you may not be thinking about it, but if you look around, folks, and I'm about to show you an example, go to some of these sites like Coin Paprika and start looking at the returns for the last, say, 7 days on some of these digital assets, and then start to look at the last couple of weeks, and then look at the last month, and you'll start to notice a bit of a pattern. And I'll give you a hint: it ain't red. It's a green pattern in some of these, and you haven't been seeing that a lot over the last 15 months, but you're starting to see it. Let's look at an example. CoinDesk Markets put this out. Bull breakout, ADA, which is Cardano. ADA is continuing its bullish market structure by posting another higher high after breaking out of this triangular consolidation pattern. Strong resistance is now close by. This in form of an IHNS neckline, longer term bull above. And they're just showing you some of these charting stuff. But anyway, so I went to Coin Paprika, and it had Cardano up today at 7.22%. Well, look at this. The last week it's up 12%. The last month it's up 26.5%. But then I look down here. This is Bitcoin and Ethereum. But look at them for the last week, and then look at them for the last month. Bitcoin's up 12% over the last month, and Ethereum's up 14% over the last month. I believe things are in the process of making a turn, folks. I believe there's something going on, and I believe it's good. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that we could very likely be inching our way out of this bear market and coming into some interesting times. Thank you for listening.